You might not believe it at first, but the very foods you trust, the ones you've placed on your dinner plate for decades, could be quietly betraying you. They might wear the appearance of health, green, fresh, garden-born, but within them, certain compounds can erode your leg's strength, cloud your thinking, and even strip away the stability that keeps you upright, independent, and alive. Imagine this: every time you sit down to eat, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your future. Will it be a future where you walk freely, confidently, and without fear? Or will it be one where your legs tremble with each step, your thoughts become foggy, and the walls of your home begin to feel like prison bars? This is not drama. This is reality backed by decades of clinical research, some of which comes from the Journal of Gerontology itself, research that studied tens of thousands of seniors just like you. And one truth rises again and again from the data: the wrong vegetables can silently destroy the very foundation of your independence. Your legs. Your brain. Your immune system. But let us not begin in fear. Let us begin with hope. Because nature, in her wisdom, has not only cursed us with dangerous foods, she has gifted us miracles too. Silent healers. Gentle protectors. And today, I will walk you through 3 such gifts, 3 vegetables that, when eaten regularly, become like armor for your body. And I'll also tell you about 3 that, no matter how innocent they seem, you should never touch again. Now breathe with me. Because what you're about to hear might just be the turning point between decline and a vibrant, upright, independent old age. Let's begin with the first miracle. Broccoli. Yes, that humble green tree on your plate, often passed over or steamed into mush. But if you could only see what I've seen: arteries on scans, joints on MRIs, immune profiles of the elderly who eat broccoli every day, you would understand, this is not food. This is armor. Broccoli contains sulforaphane, a compound so powerful, so anti-inflammatory, that I've seen it reduce biomarkers of aging in patients who do nothing else but add this green warrior to their plate. Sulforaphane activates your body's internal detoxification pathways. That means it helps clear away the cellular debris, the oxidative waste, the metabolic gunk that accumulates with age and weighs down your body like rust. Chronic inflammation is the silent thief of aging. It dulls your joints, fogs your brain, and tightens your blood vessels until even walking across the room feels like wading through molasses. Broccoli fights that. And for your legs, those marvelous, miraculous limbs that carried you through youth and now tremble under time's weight, broccoli delivers vitamin K, calcium, and antioxidants that reinforce bone density and improve circulation to your extremities. Good circulation doesn't just mean warm feet, it means faster healing, less swelling, and a dramatically reduced risk of diabetic nerve damage or foot ulcers. But a word of caution: broccoli is not magic when overcooked. If you boil it until it dies, its power dies with it. Instead, steam it lightly until it's still bright, still firm, still vibrant. That's when its nutrients are alive. That's when every bite becomes a declaration: I choose strength today. Now, while broccoli strengthens your bones and blood, there is another hero in our midst. One that whispers rather than shouts. Spinach. You might think spinach is just for salads, just a leafy green among many. But spinach is a silent genius. Packed with natural nitrates, it increases blood flow to the areas that need it most: your brain and your legs. When I see seniors begin to eat spinach regularly, I don't just see improvements in cholesterol or blood pressure. I see a brightness in their gaze. A swiftness in their step. Because that improved circulation? It's oxygen. It's energy. It's clarity of mind and lightness of body. Spinach is rich in folate, which keeps your DNA from fraying as you age. It's rich in lutein, which protects the macula in your eye and slows the progress of age-related vision loss. Your eyes, those tender portals to the people you love, the books you read, the independence of your daily life, they are under attack every year past 60. And spinach, quite simply, is their shield. I've seen patients keep their driver's license longer, read grandchildren bedtime stories longer, and avoid falls, all because they respected their sight and protected it with spinach. Don't boil it. A quick sauté, a handful in your smoothie, or raw in a salad preserves its power. Because every nutrient inside is a brick in the fortress that guards your mind and muscles. And speaking of protection, there is one more vegetable that deserves reverence. The carrot. To some, it's rabbit food. To me, it's one of the greatest protectors of mobility and vision I've ever seen. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, which your body uses to keep your vision sharp and your immune system strong. Vision isn't just about seeing clearly. It's about staying upright. It's about detecting the stair in front of you before it trips you. It's about independence. But carrots do more. They are rich in antioxidants that protect your neurons and blood vessels, those highways that carry signals from your brain to your feet. Strong nerves and healthy vessels mean quicker reflexes, better balance, and fewer falls. And that means fewer hospital stays, fewer broken hips, fewer tears of frustration. Carrots also stabilize blood sugar, a blessing for anyone with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, which becomes increasingly common after 60. Stable blood sugar means better energy, better healing, and less risk of the kind of nerve damage that steals sensation from the toes, setting the stage for slow, unnoticed injury. So eat your carrots raw, or lightly steamed. 1 or 2 a day is all it takes. It's not a chore. It's a ritual. A ritual of protection. Broccoli, spinach, carrots. 3 vegetables that do more than nourish, they preserve. They protect. They honor your body's legacy and its future. But now, we must speak of danger. Because just as nature gives, she also warns. And there are vegetables, common, beloved even, that carry compounds dangerous to the aging body. Not because they are evil, but because your body, at this stage of life, cannot tolerate their burden. Let's begin with one of the most deceptive. Eggplant. Beautiful, glossy, and often found in dishes that remind us of comfort and tradition. But eggplant contains solanine, a naturally occurring compound that in sensitive individuals can cause inflammation, especially in the joints, muscles, and nerves. I've seen seniors complain of aching knees, stiff hands, burning in their calves, and after weeks of tests and frustration, the answer was in the eggplant on their plate. Solanine doesn't strike like lightning. It's slow, subtle, creeping. It doesn't announce itself, it accumulates. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already weaker. Already unsteady. Cooking can reduce it slightly, but not enough. For seniors already dealing with arthritis, neuropathy, or muscle stiffness, eggplant can quietly accelerate the very symptoms you're fighting to overcome. And when you lose your mobility, you lose more than movement. You lose confidence. You lose spontaneity. You start saying no to invitations, outings, dances, dreams. That's the cost of an unwise vegetable. So we leave eggplant behind, not in anger, but in wisdom. And there are 2 more like it. 2 vegetables you must hear about, before they too weaken what you've spent a lifetime building. We leave eggplant behind, not in anger, but in wisdom. Because what is wisdom, really, if not the quiet courage to make better choices once we know the truth? Now let me tell you about another deceiver in disguise. Green bell peppers. They look so cheerful on the plate. Crisp. Bright. A splash of color in a stir-fry, a fresh crunch in a salad. But behind that innocent appearance hides a substance that I urge every senior to be cautious of, especially those with joint stiffness, digestive issues, or nerve pain. Green bell peppers belong to the nightshade family, just like eggplants. And like many members of that family, they contain a complex protein called lectin. Now, lectins are tricky. In small amounts, some people tolerate them well. But in the aging body, where the gut lining is often thinner, the immune system slower, and nutrient absorption already fragile, lectins can act like saboteurs. They latch onto the gut walls, subtly inflaming them. You won't feel it immediately. You might not feel it for weeks. But it shows up eventually in the form of nutrient deficiencies, joint irritation, unpredictable blood sugar, and a vague but persistent tiredness. You feel like something's off, but blood tests come back normal. And that's the danger. I once treated a woman in her 70s, Margaret. She was sharp, elegant, full of warmth. But her feet burned every night, her ankles swelled, and walking became a negotiation with pain. Her memory began to slip, and she feared early dementia. We adjusted her meds. Nothing helped. until we looked at her diet. She was eating green bell peppers nearly every day, stuffed, sautéed, or raw. It was part of her Mediterranean tradition. When we removed them, the burning eased within a week. The swelling? Gone by month's end. Her mind cleared like morning fog. And she wept not because she missed the peppers, but because she got her life back. You see, inflammation is not always loud. But over time, it erodes the pillars of health, mobility, cognition, strength. And it gets worse. Green bell peppers have significantly fewer antioxidants than their ripened siblings, red, yellow, and orange peppers. So not only are you inviting inflammation, but you're also missing out on the nutrients that could protect your cells, your heart, your vision. Yes, cooking can slightly reduce lectins, but not enough to make green bell peppers safe for every senior. Especially not those with arthritis, neuropathy, or irritable bowel symptoms. The risks are simply too great. There are gentler vegetables. More generous ones. Peppers that have ripened with time and color, offering more support and less sabotage. Choosing the right foods in your later years is like choosing the right shoes. If they don't support you, they hurt you. And you carry that pain all day. But there is one final vegetable we must speak of. One that is on nearly every American table. One that evokes comfort, nostalgia, and warmth, yet can quietly erode the very foundation of your strength. White potatoes. Let me say this clearly, I do not come to take away your mashed potatoes out of cruelty. I come to protect your ability to walk. Because white potatoes, so beloved in our meals, are, at their core, starch bombs. They send your blood sugar soaring faster than most sweets. That initial surge may feel comforting, satisfying even, but it is followed by an insulin spike, inflammation, and ultimately, fatigue. Not just in your mood. In your cells. In your nerves. In your legs. Every time blood sugar spikes and crashes, tiny blood vessels are strained. Nerves become irritated. Circulation falters. And for seniors, especially those with prediabetes, diabetes, or vascular problems, this is not a small inconvenience. It is a red alert. That pins and needles feeling in your toes? That's not just age. It's a warning sign. So is the cold in your feet, the leg cramps at night, the slow healing of a bruise. White potatoes may not cause these alone, but they absolutely fan the flames. But the threat doesn't end there. White potatoes are linked to a condition called arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. As arteries lose flexibility, blood struggles to reach the extremities. This means your legs fatigue faster. Wounds heal slower. And your balance suffers. Falls don't always happen because of slippery floors or poor footwear. Often, they happen because your body is simply too tired to stabilize itself. Because your nerves didn't send the right signal in time. Because your foot didn't lift high enough. And in those milliseconds between movement and misstep, the damage is done. A fractured hip. A hospital stay. Sometimes, a permanent loss of independence. And what adds to this tragedy is that the very meal meant to bring joy, those creamy mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving, the fries at lunch with friends, was unknowingly part of the decline. Now, I'm not saying never enjoy comfort. I'm saying redefine it. Reclaim it. Choose sweet potatoes instead. Or carrots. Or even turnips or parsnips, root vegetables that stabilize blood sugar, provide antioxidants, and nourish your body instead of overburdening it. Because let me tell you something I've learned not from books, but from patience. The most profound joys in life come not from taste alone, but from movement, memory, and connection. From walking into the garden with your grandchildren. From standing without fear. From remembering your spouse's birthday without hesitation. These are the true comforts. And they are made possible not by tradition, but by transformation. Each food is a choice. Not just between hunger and fullness. But between independence and fragility. Between clarity and confusion. Between a future of freedom or of fear. And so I ask you now, not as a doctor, but as someone who has walked with thousands through the later chapters of life. Will you protect your legs like the pillars they are? Will you protect your mind like the treasure it is? Will you choose broccoli, spinach, carrots, and honor the sacredness of your aging body? Will you release eggplant, green peppers, and white potatoes not with anger, but with understanding? Because every meal, every forkful, every bite, is a vote. A whisper into your future saying, I will care for you. I will not forget what you've carried me through. This is the heart of medicine. Not pills. Not prescriptions. But presence. Awareness. And the courage to choose what heals over what harms. I'll continue this journey with you. But now I ask, are you ready for one final truth, one final awakening that may change how you nourish yourself for the rest of your life? Are you ready for one final truth? Because it's not just about what's on your plate, it's about what's in your heart when you choose it. Every decision you make now carries a different kind of weight. Not just physical, but symbolic. Spiritual. Choosing a vegetable today is no longer just about nutrition. It's about survival. About self-respect. About reclaiming the strength that aging tries to steal in the quiet moments when no one's looking. When you're sitting alone, and the stairs feel a little steeper, and your body feels like it's arguing with you. And yet, it listens. To every act of love. Every vegetable that heals. Every step you still choose to take. There is a quiet revolution happening among those who refuse to age the way society expects. Not with resignation, but with reverence. These are the seniors who walk with purpose into the market, choosing broccoli like a shield, spinach like a sword, and carrots like beacons of light. They're not trying to look young. They're trying to feel free. Because aging is not about appearance. It's about endurance. It's about waking up and knowing your legs will carry you. It's about lifting your arms without pain, standing without hesitation, reading without strain. It's about staying in your home, not because someone has to help you, but because you still belong in the world as you always have, upright, aware, and alive. Let me tell you something I learned not from textbooks, but from rooms filled with stories. I once had a patient named Ernest. He was 83. Former woodworker. Hands like bark, eyes like sunlit river water, sharp, gentle, a little tired. He told me, one day, sitting across from me in a cold examination room, Doc, I don't mind getting older. I just don't want to disappear while I'm still alive. That stayed with me. Because that's the fear so few talk about. Not just death. But erosion. Slow, unnoticed, internal disappearing. The body weakens. The legs hesitate. The memory stumbles. And the world, little by little, feels like it's moving on without you. But it doesn't have to be that way. Not if you fight the quiet battles. The ones no one sees but you. Saying no to the white potato on your plate, even when it smells like childhood. Choosing sautéed spinach instead of another harmless pepper in your salad, even when no one else understands why. Choosing to steam broccoli instead of boil it into oblivion, because you now know the difference between green mush and green medicine. These are the kinds of choices that change everything, not all at once, but drop by drop, like water carving stone. You see, the most important medicine is not dispensed in pharmacies. It's not locked in pills or syringes. It's found in kitchens. In gardens. In grocery aisles where your hand hesitates over two similar items, and chooses the wiser one. Your bones, your brain, your blood vessels, they are listening. Right now. They respond to the choices you make with either gratitude or exhaustion. Give them broccoli, and they thank you with better blood flow, fewer aches, and brighter thoughts. Give them spinach, and they reward you with clarity, steadier hands, and sharper eyes. Give them carrots, and they'll help you see not just the world, but your worth. Your place. Your strength. But feed them eggplant, and they'll wince in silence. They'll push through the inflammation. Until one day, they can't. Give them green bell peppers, and the inflammation simmers, unseen, until it floods over into pain, confusion, fatigue. Give them white potatoes daily, and the sugar surge will steal your energy, harden your arteries, and begin the slow unraveling of your mobility. And none of it happens with fanfare. It happens quietly. Which is why your defense must be deliberate, intentional, loving. Now I'm not here to scold. I'm here to awaken. I've stood beside beds where the legs no longer move, where memory flickers like a dying candle, where someone says, if only I had known sooner. And so I'm telling you now. You do know. And knowing gives you power. No, not the power to undo everything, but the power to change the next chapter. To walk it differently. More alert. More aligned with the healing your body craves. You don't need a miracle. You need broccoli. You need spinach. You need carrots. You need consistency. You need respect for your body, not as a problem to fix, but a story to honor. There is dignity in taking care of yourself. There is grace in letting food be your medicine. There is wisdom in saying, this body has carried me this far. I will carry it the rest of the way with love. And so we close this message not with a prescription, but a promise. That every bite can be a blessing. That every meal can be a message. That every choice is a chance to keep standing. To keep remembering. To keep loving the life you still have. Because it's not too late. Not if you're listening now. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not broken. You are becoming something wiser, deeper, stronger than before. And every vegetable you choose from this day forward is a reminder that aging isn't the end. It's a return to truth. A return to care. A return to life, with your eyes wide open, your steps steady, and your heart still hungry for more. Let this be your moment. Your awakening. Your invitation to rise again. Because you still can. And I'll be with you every bite of the way. Before you go, remember this. Every step you take, every choice you make in the kitchen, is a quiet promise to your future self. If this message touched something in you, if you felt seen, understood, or awakened in any way, then let's stay connected. Tap subscribe now to walk with us on this journey of strength, healing, and dignity. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you're ready to make one change today. Or type 0 to let us know how we can better support you. And please share this video with someone you love. Because the greatest gift we can offer others is the wisdom that might save their strength before it slips away. You are not alone. You are not too late. You are still becoming. We're here, every step of the way.